Hello, my name is Priyank Patel. In this video, we are going to discuss about a Django project. It's COVID resources management system. So for prerequisites for this project is some basic knowledge about Python and Django. So let me explain my project first. This is a web application to manage COVID resources like vaccine, beds, oxygen cylinders, etc. And also they can add much more. There are mainly four users. First, the admin, who will manage the user access and can add different location as well as all the different organization who will contribute to the resources. Second, the guest user, who can just visit our site and check the availability of resources and also can contribute to the resources which will be further verified by the users of the organization. Third, the organization user, who can verify available resources contributed by guests, then also can add resources and modify resources. A third and the fourth and the final user is the head of the organization management, who will register, manage access of organizational users, and also can add locations as well as category and subcategory of the resources. So now let me give some information about my technical stack. So the front end is made using HTML5, CSS, JS, and Bootstrap, and the backend is in Django. And the database used in this project is PostgreSQL. So let me discuss some basic knowledge about Django first. So in Django, we can create a project in which we can create different type of modules. So in our Django project, RM was the project, the main project. In it, there are two modules, guest as well as team. Usually in Django, there are main three files, the models.py, urls.py, and views.py. Adding to this, there are two important folders for our front end, that is static and templates. In templates, there are the front end HTML files, which we are going to bind with our backend using Django. And the static folder contains some static images or other CSS properties. So let me start with the models.py. So first of all, we have built our CoVRM using CoVRM project using Django, and it is built using the command, and it will automatically generate some of the files like init.py, then settings.py, urls.py, vsgi.py, asgi.py. So in which we are going to see the main two files, the urls.py. I will discuss this file in the further video, and the settings.py, in which we configure our database as well as some middlewares which are going to be helpful in our project. So going to the configuration of database, you just need to put the name of the database, then the user and the password. And currently we are running it on a local host, so the host is given to the local host, right? Then this project contains two main folders, or you can say two main modules, the guest as well as the teams, and also the two other folders, static and templates, which will include the HTML files. Our main backend is in the guest and the teams. So let's first discuss the guest module, and in which we are going to discuss the models.py. So all the models.py contain the schema of the database. You can find whole schema in schema.txt file. Let me show you. it's here. So all the database tables and overall all the schema is been seen in here, and we have to just create the models, and Django will automatically convert these models to the tables. So let's have a look in the models.py of the guest. So we just need to declare a class with the name of the table. This class name will be considered as the table name, and Django will automatically convert this model into the table in our database. So these are the attributes which are going to be there in our database schema, and the type of the uh, attribute is given here. So the lead name, which is an organizational name, is a character field which will be act as a string and has a maximum length of 100. Other than that, a key feature is here, like the foreign key. We can add the foreign key just by giving just by typing foreign key models.foreign key and give the other variable that's other attribute in it, and also provide some functionality like on delete in the foreign key will delete or do nothing on the other table. Similarly, we can provide attributes like blank equal to true, so blank will be allowed, but null will be not allowed if we write null equal to false, but here it is written null equal to true, so null is allowed in here. Also there are other fields like text field, then boolean field, then data time field, which are very useful in storing the different types of data in our database. So in date time field, default is given date time dot now, which will store the current time. Similarly, for the proposed availability, so guest can add some resources. For that, we have this model, or you can see a table. Now we shall move to URLs and views.py file. So URLs and views file will contain the main backend of the project. So to begin with, let me start with the urls.py. We will write the endpoints of the pages. For that, just create a Python list of parts, the Django parts, which will include from Django URLs, and this part will include the URL through which we can access the page, as well as a view function, a function from the view.py, which will return the content as well as the HTML file to that URL. We will discuss this URL afterwards also. So try to write a URL based on the string written here, like a login, contribute, dashboard, or nothing. Then the function map with that will be called. So when we write nothing, then views.index will call. So views.index will return towards the function dashboard, and the dashboard will call the else part because we haven't sent a post request yet. So the else part will be called, and it will call the guest dashboard.html file and render it in the web browser. Along with that, there is a context variable which is used to transfer the data from database to Python and Python to HTML. So let me talk about it. The context variable is used to bind to to HTML by using Jinja, and it's a template engine for Python, which is used to pass information from front end to back end and vice versa. Now let's see the code and output simultaneously for the admin side. So let me run the project first. Wait a minute. We have to activate our virtual environment. Right. Then just turn the server. So our project has been running now. Right. So this is our project. Uh, okay. First of all, we see the admin side of that. So you need to log in it first. So uh, at the end of this video, I will provide some information which will be useful to how to create a super user and other users. So wait for that. Okay, I have already created a super user, that is the admin user, and now I'm going to log in using these credentials. If I log in, you can see it is the admin module. Okay, now see the code as well as the output simultaneously for the admin side. For the admin side, we just need to modify the inbuilt Django admin module. To do that, just open the admin.py file. Reached our admin side. Now let's see the code and output simultaneously. For the admin side, we just need to modify the inbuilt Django admin module. To do that, just open the admin.py file of module and make some classes you want and just write following code to add these components on the admin page. This is the code which you have to write to add this on admin page. Let me show you the example. Now we are seeing the guest user, right? In guest, the admin panel has the proposed availabilities and proposed dates. So these are the two classes which have been written here, right? And we just need to add this in the admin side. If we remove this line and compile again, then there is only the one field, right? So using this, we can just modify the existing admin site of the Django, and it is reliable to trust on this because Django is a huge framework and it is trustable. Secondly, talking about the guest user, we have features of dashboards. Let me show you in the views.py. Yeah, the dashboard. Let me show you the visual also. You need to just log out the admin site. Yeah, this is the dashboard of the guest user. So a user, whenever enter to our site, he will see a dashboard like this. Currently, I have only one entry and showing one result in it. So there are lots of filter options. So we can filter it out using this following option. So first of all, if I select Maharashtra, then Mumbai will come. And if I search, a post request is sent to the dashboard function, and a post request is being used to filter out the data from the database and again pass the data to the dashboard. So there is no entry of a Maharashtra state, so there is no data. Let me again filter out it by Gujarat and then search. So here the data is been filtered by Valsad because I have only one entry in Gujarat, that is Valsad. So let me explain the code. Whenever I click to the button, a post request is being sent to the dashboard function. As seen in the URL, if we call dashboard, use.dashboard is being called, and in it we received a request method of post whenever we click on this search. Let me show you the HTML file also. Guest dashboard. So in form action, the method is post. So we received a post method, right? So let me again open the views.py, right? Yeah. So now moving towards the functionality of filtering, different type of filtering options: filtering by states, then filtering by locations, filtering by categories and resources, filtering by leads and availabilities, filtering all location, resources and category, filtering states, lead IDs, filtering resources IDs, availabilities, lead types, all that. So what we have created a context dictionary which will be passing to the HTML page, and in HTML page we will access this using the Jinja templating engine. So we just need to write Jinja format, and the information we pass in the context will be displayed here. Right. So let me open the views.py file and explain it. Yeah. In context, we had locations, resources, subcategories, states, categories, data types, all this information which are need to display here. So I will explain some of the queries which will be similar to all the others. So let me explain one. So let's see. Okay. Yeah. Here is. If we first land on this page, there will be nothing selected in the state field, right? So that time all the state will be selected, and location will be location query will be all the locations available in the table. If not, then if we select some state and then put a post request, it will show us the filter data of that state only. For that query is location.object.filter state equal state, means it will filter all the location by state and also by the region. That's if I could say Gujarat, it has two places, Valsad and Vadodara. This is the region, and we have only one entry that is in Valsad. If I select Vadodara and send a post request, it will see no data in the table, because in Gujarat only the Valsad has one entry and no other entry is there, right? Similarly, all other filters will work. We have filter by resources, which will filter by category as well as the subcategories, and we will pass all this data to the context dictionary, and the context dictionary will be passed to the HTML page, and using the Jinja template we will display our context information on the HTML. So this is all about the dashboard. Similarly, the following function contribute is just to submit the resources by the guest user. Let me show you the HTML of it with Python code as well as the output. Right. So this is the Python code. Then I will also show you the HTML part. Okay. It is a form with a post method, contains input and at last The action field contain a URL contribute, which will redirect to the views.py in which contribute function is written. So it will receive the post request, and the following thing will happen. First of all, a resource object is being created, which we want to add it in the table. So all the requested field from the HTML input fields is being stored in some of the variables given here. We can just store it by request.post and the value name given in the HTML tag. Here it is. Yeah, we will check if the same database already exists and informed by another guest or not. If it exists, it will do nothing, then no contribution will be added. If it is not found in that, then we will save we will create an object of the presented lead by a guest user, and we will save it in our database, which will be further seen by the user of the organization. I will discuss it further. So here is the form. You can contribute to resources by filling this form. This is the contribute form. Let me give you an example. So let me hospital. Then you can give it a URL here, email ID. Then I will public comment and additional comments. Then you can just give some counts and contribute the lead data. Right. The success message is being received. After that, we will move towards the Teams module, in which there are two users, the head of the organization and all the other users of the organization. Right. So if we log in, using the head of the organization, it will show the three functionalities: the add category, add subcategory, and add user, using which we will create a new user, organizational user, and register. So a new user has been registered by the head of the organization. Similarly, you can add category and subcategory. Now let's move towards the organizational user. So this is similar dashboard as that we have seen in the guest, and have all the similar functionality of filter and other. Right. The main difference is organizational user can have these three following functions, like verify leads, modify leads, and add leads. So a Mumbai civil hospital, which we have entered using the guest user, is being appeared here in the verify leads. So A valid person from the organization can verify these details. By click on the verify, all the details which have been filled by the guest user will be appeared here, and a person can verify all these things and approve or disapprove these lead details and contribute to the resources, right? So I'm approving this, and it will be now seen on the dashboard. Just see, yeah, we can see the two entries. Now if we want to modify the leads, we can do that. Like suppose we have 8 and update. So now we open dashboard. Okay, let me see another example. Go vaccine. Okay, done. Then we will visit the dashboard. Yeah, it is updated, right? Similarly, these are some filter options here. Or an organizational user can also add leads by himself, right? So let me move towards the code. Similarly, here is the model.py, which contains the schema of the database, then URLs, which contains the endpoints of the project, which we'll use to navigate, right? This is teams.addLeads. So addLeads function, addLeads part is being redirected towards the addLead function of the views. So let me now come to the views of the teams module. Now let me show you the code of the teams module. So first of all, moving towards the admin of the team modules, we have several fields and we have add this on the admin panel. At last, we will show whole project in a complete manner, right? I will show you that. After that, talks about the URLs. These are the keywords which we use to navigate according to the page. So currently I'm in the add leads page and the modify leads page. So these are the keywords used to redirect the web pages, and it is mapped to the views functions of the teams module. So let me show you the views.py. All the functions which are in the guest are included in teams, but we have head of organization and also the users made by the head. So a head can register user, can add category of resources and also add subcategories of that. Similar like the other post request, all these have the same functionality. We just make an object of a user and save it into the database, right? Similarly, the add category, we just created an object of leads, object of we just created an object of resource and save it to the database. Similarly for the subcategory, we also have function of logout. Yeah, one major difference between the quest and the themes modules is the themes module need authentication to access the page. So for that we have used the Django director, that is login required. If we write login required director at the view function, then it will need to it will tell user to authenticate first and then visit this page. Right. The team dashboard is similar to that of the guest dashboard. Then comes the add lead function. So in add lead function, it is also same as the adding leads from the guest. So it is very similar. Then modify leads will have the existing values, and if we click on modify, it will modify the existing record. For that, we have created a modify function in the Bootstrap UI of the teams, in which first of all, if we click the modify of this record, it will only filter out this record from all the data, all the values from the database, and update the existing information. For that, we have filter out that. For that, we have filtered out that record from the resources, and then we just change the modified value and again save it to the database. In this way, we have modified the existing record. Right. So these are the functions in the views.py file of the teams module. At the end, I would like to cover the URL.py of the cover GovRM, which include the three main parts. First, for the guest, there is nothing in the keyword. So if we write just the localhost 800, it will redirect to the dashboard, because it includes the guest URLs. And in guest URLs, the first page, it is given as the index, and it will redirect to the dashboard. See, other is the teams part, which includes URL of the teams module, and at last the admin, which will include the Django inbuilt admin site URLs. That is this. If you log in, I'll show you the other functionality available in the teams. So in teams, the main resource manager can add resources by himself. Then locations, currently I have only at Gujarat and Maharashtra, and you can also add sub locations in that regions, which we call regions. Then the leads, from here you have different options of adding the leads. Then the lead types, currently we have only three, that is community, private, or public. And yeah, these are the available resources. So this functionality is for the main admin, the admin of the project, right? Then talking about the guest user, okay, for guest we have to just, yeah, can contribute lead or can visit the dashboard, right? Now at last, let me show you the command for creating a super user. So you can create a super user using the following command. Let me show you an example. So it will ask for a username. And that's it. A super user has been created. Now you can try login using that. And start the server again. And here you go. So that's it from my side. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want this code, guys, find the link in the description. Always be a learner.